Salakia. I want to get a scripture because, like I said, what did it just say? It said the technological limitations at the time had necessitated sequestering victims into hospitals. So basically, if you go into this word sequestering, uh, bear with me. Salakia. It said when you go into the word sequestered, it says Salakia. I wish I could pull it up, but I got to go through a whole other thing to record. So the phone that I got on, I have to use as a hotspot, and then this phone, you know. But anyhow, the word sequester means of a place isolated and hidden away, secluded, clustered, hidden away, concealed, tucked away. So it said necessitated, meaning they felt the need to hide this away. So this book of Isaiah 5 and 20, it say, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So for them to think that they needed to, like they trying to justify Salaki, they justifying the fact of what they did, which was wrong. I mean, like, you used unwitting, innocent people to do this. I mean, it's all ultimately the Most High, but at the same, I mean, that was judgment upon them, but just the thoughts of these wicked fucking individuals, these fucking Edomites. It says, it said, the victims to hospitals where they could be drugged and subjected to electroconvulsive therapy using electrodes placed on the scalp. Physiological monitoring of the EEG and other vital signs also require sensors placed on the subject. In addition, things had become a little hot for the MK Ultra researchers by the early 1970s. Victims' complaints had prompted congressional hearings and the unethical experimentation conducted by the CIA on unwitting subjects began to be exposed. And not to digress, but I was thinking about this movie. It had Mel Gibson in it, and it was called Conspiracy Theory. And long story short, he was like a cabbie or something like that, but he had all these crazy theories. You know what I'm saying? So he would try and tell anybody, and people were looking at him, go check it out. They were looking at him, oh, this motherfucker crazy. You know what I mean? He crazy, crazy. And kind of find out, you know, he actually had been the subject of an experiment. He actually, what he was talking about, I mean, like some of, he couldn't prove certain things, but he was actually caught up in something that was major. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine, like you said, you done seen people labeled their work or the term quackpot, but that's just like government propaganda. You know what I mean? If you ever go look up the guy that actually he got a book called Propaganda, I think he related to I can't think of his name. I would have to, like I said, go look it up and whatnot. But the book is called Propaganda, and he's actually related to Sigmund Freud. And it's the only book of that title, and it was written years ago, and it's like the number one best-selling book. But he came up with the whole, what's the word? The whole, the art of propaganda. You know what I mean? That's what they based these techniques and what they do and how they promote propaganda. That's what they based it off of. It says when Senator Ted Kennedy at the helm, with Senator Ted Kennedy at the helm, CIA documents that survived the shredding machine painted a picture of bizarre, unethical experimentation, mostly done through front companies. Had the CIA not sequestered victims in research centers for experimentation and left a paper trail, there may have never been disclosure in congressional hearings. The public was outraged at the abuse. The Congress was dismayed. The CIA began looking for other ways to continue their mind control research with greater plausibility, Salakia, greater plausible deniability and less chance of getting caught with their pants down. The era of remote neural monitoring had begun. And not to digress, but that's the spirit. I was just watching the news. I think Good Morning America, whatever the fuck, with that faggot ass dude, Michael Strahan, fucking coon ass nigga, had him on there. But whatever show that is, and they actually went into how they said, I don't know if y'all remember years back, Kim Jong Un's brother got killed, and they show it where like, cause it's on public. They was out in a public place, uh, where these two bras, hit him with some kind of nerve agent. Like they put it around. Yeah, that shit was like what gruesome. He was like for real, like but they was like he was actually working for the CIA, and I can believe that. You know what I'm saying? So Kim probably got that nigga killed. You know what I'm saying? Like he trying to bring down the family dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, dumbass. Uh, that's one thing about Esau. He will get a motherfucker to flip. Too many times, still gonna do it. And you got still those to come that you don't even know flipped already. You know what I mean? You got your people that you actually believe was actually for, you know, Huey P. Newton, come to find out he was selling dope for the motherfuckers, but you did all this black power shit. The Advanced Research Projects Agency awarded a contract for 338,000 to the Stanford Research Institute on February 9th, 1972. The program director was Dr. George Lawrence, and the contract was granted to Dr. Lawrence Pinel to determine the feasibility of bio-cybernetic communication. More specifically, Dr. Pinel was researching the feasibility of designing a communication link between man and computer using electrical activity of the brain during verbal thinking. So when you take time to think about this, what are we into today? You got Elon Musk with his Neuralink. Now this is in the 70s. We in 2000, about to be 20. That's almost 50 fucking years. And if technology is increasing, you don't think that it's possible for them to, you know, like, I mean, this shit is here. Like, man, y'all just don't get it, man. The Lord gonna have to be with you in that day, too. The Lord's so cold, he could bug you out and put a spirit on you to take the chip. and the truth and all, like, your judgment. Ain't that cold? That's why we say this is not a game, people. I love what Apostle Tahar, I digress, but I love what Apostle Tahar, I was listening to his video because he did a whole bunch of videos yesterday and he was going into vocab Dr. Edom. But he was saying, he was talking about, he was like, yeah, he should have never introduced his little listeners to, you know, our doctorate or our videos. He was like, because this will bug you out. So he was like, and it's the truth. You know what I mean? You got dudes that was in this for years and, you know what I mean? This is not no, you know, like this is that that narrow path, you get upset. Like, you know, I ain't gonna go into, I was gonna say something else, but, you know, at the end of the day, but this is not for everybody, you know what I mean? Like, he was like how his congregation or people that he associated with that called themselves being Christians. You know, now they wondering, well, I don't know if hell's real, and I don't know if the Bible's real, and you know what I mean? Like they just ooh. That if you're an Edomite, it don't matter if you believe it's real or not. Like just the other day, we had this damn demon, you know, provoking us at camp, and you know, I put a curse on him because I ain't gonna go into the whole situation, but my point is, I put a curse on him. And he sat up there and he's like, "Oh, I don't care about that." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. You ain't gotta care what the Book of Romans say." Let me go into this. Let me get it. It say, "Does it matter for those that do not believe?" You know what I mean? Like this is Book of Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? That's pretty self-explanatory. It say even though it's written, you know, in a, you know, like an old English form. For what if some did not believe? Meaning, so what if you? So for what? So if you don't believe, since you don't believe, do that make the faith of our belief in the power of Yahweh no effect? Like he don't think that's gonna happen, but I done seen enough. You know what I mean? Like you know what? You know, just like we was down there preaching at that gay pride parade. I did a video on it, but at this gay pride parade, you had a guy that was a vendor at the parade. So mind you, he didn't have an issue at all being around all these fucking weirdos and freaks, but then flip out in front of, you know, a family of these motherfuckers and beat the dog shit out of, and it wasn't just no little punch in that. I'm talking about this bitch had a broken jaw, black eye, and skull fracture. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then I know it's a judgment of the Lord because she had six motherfuckers with her and nobody stopped me. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So be careful. You know what I mean? Most high, you never know if that lady was a scoffer or anything. And one of the brothers said that he thinks she was. He remembers seeing her. And I'm like, wow. Because he put her picture up. You know what I mean? Because we was just talking about judgments, you know what I mean? Like, we was putting judgments in the group chat. You know what I mean? They said a motherfucker, I think in Dallas, I forgot what freeway, what state, this motherfucker riding his motorcycle got hit by lightning. You know what I'm saying? That ain't just no freak occurrence. You get up saying like, like that was a judgment. Like the fuck, you the only one get hit with that bitch. Like, you know, you had that crane crash in Dallas. I mean, just like judgment happening on a and it's a beautiful thing. Like brothers are speaking on if when they actually do this famine of the word, because when like our main platform is the YouTube. You know, even though you got a lot of people that don't listen to the YouTube, but or don't want to prescribe to what we're saying and believe, but at the same time, like I just read in Romans 3, verse 3, you know, at the end of the day, just because you don't believe, don't mean that the faith of the Most High will be without effect, you know, at the end of the day. But we are flooding the internet. Why do you think they want to actually like you got to take time to think about this. Come on. The apostles and elders didn't get on the YouTube for like maybe 10, 12 years ago. You had all people had the belief that they had the freedom of speech. You got neo-Nazis. You got all kind of Ku Klux Klan. You know, everybody got a platform. And if for years nobody would say nothing to them, you might have a little small, like, put it like this, because you've always had that. Let's come together. And no, everyone should love everybody. And you guys are, you know, fuck all that though. At the end of the day, I give them that much. You know what I mean? They understand that it's all about, you know what? And this crazy part is when we was out of camp, like how we always scream about how, you know, you are what your father is. You have motherfuckers that admit it. You know what I mean? But they want to pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, they said, may a curse be put onto this place. Salak Rayon to this wicked ass place. A Bob, a ball to Babylon. Or Salakia. Or a Bob, a ball to America. But getting back to the well, I'm gonna stop there because I ain't mean to digress. Salakia for that Akim because I just heard the elder Kazak speak on how Apostle Gabar said we got to get to our point. We got to bring out our points because that's the point of the video. I mean, of course, the spirit might lead you. You may go on a rant here. You might, you know, go a little bit around. But the point of making a video is to actually, like, everybody should have that down, though. You might go in the direction here and there, but the point of a video is whatever you title that video, it has to have that point in it. You get what I'm saying? That's why I like how Apostle Aramlab puts, you know, various topics when he's talking about various things, you know. But Salaki, I'm going to end here.